Hi everyone, good evening.
I do.
We can get started. Anyway, recording is going on, so whoever is not joined, they can go through the recording. So yesterday we have gone through the PBPI calls that we have, that is retrieve multiple records that we have seen. I think only one we have seen right yesterday, retrieve multiple records along with the debugging, like how we will be getting the results of the API retrieve multiple records API call, right? And we have seen multiple examples like how we'll be passing the fetch XML. I think yesterday it was not working, so that we can cover today. And we have seen like the syntax and how it will work and how the results we will be using it. And also we have seen async and await for to make the web API call as a synchronous whenever the result whatever the result that we are fetching, and if the values are required in the further steps, then we have to make that a web API call as a synchronous, so that the value or the result we will get right away and can be used in the next steps. So that's what we have seen yesterday. And today we'll be discussing about the retrieve multiple records first, because yesterday we were not able to work with the fetch XML. So today I'll be showing that first, and then we can move to the update and delete API calls. Okay. And please tell me, please let me know if you have any questions so that we can discuss in the class itself, in the session itself, so that when you are dealing with assignments, you'll not be blocked. Okay. So let me share my screen. Okay, so today first we'll be starting with the return multiple records. So yesterday we've already seen with the simple one, that is like I'm just getting the customer name and email address or ID of the customer registration record, and also that too I'm getting only top 5 records only. And yesterday we were trying the fetch XML, but we were getting the query error. So I checked that, and we have to encode it before sending it in the as a query to this web API call. Okay, so which means so yesterday's fetch XML only I'll be using it. Let me this one. Okay. And now the next step that we have to do is we have to encode it. Where encoded fetch XML equals to, this is the function that we have encoded URI component, and I'm passing the fetch XML limit so that it will just uh, what we can say, like it will modify this XML accordingly, which can be used in the web API call. And now I'm using my xrm.web API call here, and you already know the syntax of it. xrm.web API retrieve multiple records. And here what we have to provide. So the first one is the logical name of the entity from which the records we want to fetch. So here I'm passing it. And then the fetch XML. So here what I should, how I should provide this one. So this is how we should provide. like, okay, dot then results. Okay, and I will be using my for loop. For now, I'll just, instead of the alerts, I'll just provide the console so that everything will be written in the console. So the pop-ups will not come. So I'm just using console. And I told you, right, where we can see these logs. While debugging it, we can see the logs in the console tab. Okay, what is the name of it? Whatever the details I'm fetching, that details I'm providing here. Result dot entity source. Uh, what? Lady customer. Okay, for now I'm just okay. I'll just add the phone number as well. We do have the value there. Okay, I'm just writing my results to the console so that I can directly check there. And here you can see it's an asynchronous call only because I'm not using these values anywhere in the next steps, next lines of the code. So I'm just not using that async abide. So wherever is required, there only just use that. Otherwise, it will impact the performance because we shouldn't be waiting for all the code, right? So if it is required, then only we should wait for it. And let me update my web resource. Yeah, saving it. And I didn't change the event handler of that one. It's still it is on the save of that event bookings only. Yeah, I published it and let me refresh this form. I'm figuring it. Yes, now save. Create record, and so this is the result of yesterday's retrieve multiple records where I have added the alerts for each record. Top 5 records I'm fetching, and for all of them I have added the alert. So you're saying this one, and ours is so whatever the one that we are fetching now with fetch XML, I have not added the alert. So where we should check using the console. Oh, just a second. Let me use this one. So I know this. Yeah, let me trigger that again. Okay. Here you can see. So the same here I don't have any filter. I'm just fetching all the customer registrations and I'm writing them in the console. And here you can see all of them are here. Just the name, email, and phone of the all the registration customer registration records. Okay. So this is how we will be fetching using the fetch XML, and so you just have to use the encode URI component whenever you are fetching using the fetch XML. Okay, any questions here? So till now, in the CRUD operations, we have gone through the create record and retrieve record and retrieve multiple records. And the next one is update and delete record. Okay. So usually why we use the update record in normal scenario, whenever we want to change something on some records, then we will go to that record manually and will change that value. For example, here I want to change the event type. Maybe it's maybe normal, like I know that this is not the correct event type, so I should just change this to corporate event type. But in some scenarios there might be more records that I have to update based on some scenarios. In that case, so the manual update is not possible, so then I can use this web API call to update the records. Okay. So it's same, like the syntax will be same. He will be similar to the create a record API call, where we have to mention the um where we have to mention the logical name and also what is the data that you want to update. Okay. So first let me see which record I want to update, like what are the details that I want to update. Just a second. Yeah, sorry. Okay, so here which data we can update? Maybe the email part and the phone number we can update it. Okay, let me get the logical names first and then we'll update the code here. So what is the data? Updated data. And what is the data that I want to update with the logical name and the what is the value of it that you want to change. Okay. This one I want to change LIT email and LIT phone number. Okay, for now I'm just providing the hard-coded values. Excuse. Yeah. So the email that I want to change is like maybe wit@gmail.com. So this is just not a good example, but I just want to show you like how we will be providing the data that we want to update. Okay, so this is my object that which I will be sending to the update call here. xrm.webapi.update record. Okay, and the logical name of the entity. I think this is different, right? Just this session. And the data that I want to update. Sorry, we have to provide the record ID also, like which record we want to update. Okay, let me use which I'm getting here. So I'm on event booking form, and on save of that event booking, this is getting triggered. And here I am getting that record ID here, registered customer ID. So this I can pass because that is the customer registration record that I want to update. So I'll be using that here, register customer ID, and what is the date of that record that you want to update. Okay, then. So once you update it, if you want to do something with that result, then you can just use this step. Okay, result. Console.log, updated data, result dot LUIT email. Okay, and then I'm providing the phone number as well. Okay, these are the two things that I have updated here. I just want to check whether it got updated or not properly. And you can see I'm only updating one record here. Okay, for example, if you have number of records, for example, as I already mentioned, when we have a scenario where we have to update multiple records, in that case, what you can do, you can have your record IDs in an array, and using the loop, you can just call this update web API call multiple times for all of them. Okay, that way we can update. So you don't have to worry that we only can pass one record ID here. Using the loop, you can just use this. Just have to pass that number of like whatever the record IDs you are having in an array, in a loop. Okay, so this way you can do it. So then result. Here. Okay, let me try this first. Okay, here my registered customer is Eva. Okay. Once I change this and save it, I should have removed the alert. Okay, now get back to this one. Nothing got updated. Let me check the console log. LUIT customer registration with ID does not exist. Okay, I used a different one. Yeah, let me refresh now. Then let me change it again. Something. Edit. Now check the console. Which entity is referring to customer registration only? This is different and that is different. My bad, sorry. So at first time, like I have created two with the same name, customer registration. So that is a confusion here. Let me change this to something else. Attending names. Let's change this and email address. Okay, I'm just using it. Let me try this again. Hello. Okay, you can see that attendee name got changed to Sarah. and email address is lait@gmail.com. Okay, so this is just a simple example where, like I shown you how to use the update record here. So as I mentioned, like if you have a array of weights, like which records you want to update, that you can use in for each loop or for loop, and then you can call this web API.update record. But do remember that as this is an asynchronous call, like using in loop might be an issue. I mean, performance issue because it will lag the system because this is a client side, which is nothing but this is on the form. This whatever the code that is running in the use as a JS, so this will be on a form level. So it's always better to just compress like wherever required, then only just go with the complex scenarios like the complex coding, like using the web API calls in a for loops or anything, because multiple times it has to hit and it has to wait for it. So better just wherever is required, then only go with this one, otherwise just go with the server side. Okay. So this is the only thing that you have to remember while working with web API. One is async and await, and another one is for loop while you are calling this update record. So if the traffic is high, meaning like if you're having a more records that you have to update or you have to create or you have to retrieve, then in that case try to minimize using the filter. Okay, or the top, like how many records you want to get, or using the filter, like based on some conditions only, just fetch the records whatever is matching. So that way, please do remember that in real time scenarios, we have to be careful while using this web API call. It might like seem to be normal only, but when it is on the form, it will like maybe it's not a big impact, but maybe while form loading or something like that, if it is taking time, means like it is a wrong impression or the negative feedback from the customer. It will be like that. Okay. So this is about the update record. And then um so I have already mentioned like this syntax of this is xrm.webapi.update record, and then if result, if it is a success, then these are the things that you have to return in the console. If not, also you have to provide the error, right? So maybe sometimes it is saying the irrelevant error message which we don't understand, right? In that scenario, what we can do, um we can just we can just go with the error message, whatever is returning from here, that we will be seeing here. So error, how we are using this result. If it is a success, then result, I mean arrow function we are using, right? With this parameter. So the same way for error, I'm using this parameter and then arrow function. If error, what should it do? Return a error on the console. Error while updating the record. And keep the message meaningful, whatever you are writing here, so that you'll be able to understand like in any point of time, if any issue with this update record, then your message will be in the console log, so you'll have to identify it from which method it is throwing the error. So that is the reason. So in console.log, in the error message, provide the correct sentence which will be understandable to you. Okay, while updating the record, customer registration record. And error dot message. Okay, this is the complete syntax. So it's always better, like it's a good practice to use both this error also. Okay, we can see that. And then the next one is we are done with the update and we'll be going with the delete. So I don't think like it's a most frequent one. Obviously, nobody will be using this one because we do have another options, right? Like delete bulk deletion records. I don't know whether it is already done or not, but in CRM we do have a one option Like from here, if you go to the data management and okay, so here under the system section, we have this data management, and here we have this bulk record deletion. So whenever the any records that you don't want in the system, for example, so many cases that got resolved maybe from this last 1 year, I don't want them because I do need the space, like the capacity I need. Data was sorry. So the Dataverse has a limitation. Like, I mean, based on our plan only, the capacity will be there. So if my cases are whatever the resolved cases are consuming space, then I can just remove them. So in that case, I can use this option in the data management section of we do have this bulk deletion job, and you'll have to just set up this job so that it will just delete the records. So here you have to provide your entity name and whatever the name and whatever the condition. For example, all the entities which are, for example, here I have selected accounts. So I'll say all the accounts which are in inactive state, I want to just delete them. So you can just create it and then it will just start the action of deleting it. Okay, so this is the way. So mostly they'll not use it, but maybe some scenarios where they might need it. I'm not sure of such type of scenario because I have never worked that kind of scenario. But if you get maybe based on some conditions or whatever, or if you seem like the duplicate, I don't think duplicate will come here because in the duplication rule itself we will identify it. So maybe some scenarios where we might need to delete the record based on some conditions in the form field values. So then maybe we can use it. Just know the syntax. So it is not that frequently used in any projects as far as I know. Okay. So here it is xrm.web.delete record, and as usual the uh, entity name. And here you should provide like which entity, which record you want to delete. So here you have to provide the width of the record that you want to delete. So I'm using this registered customer ID only. And here you can see my customer registration lookup is not a mandatory like required field. It's an optional field. So I can just remove it. So that is not an issue. So I'm going with that. Let me check once. Customer registration is not a required field, so I can just remove this also, so that is not an issue. Okay, xrm.web delete record, and then once deleted, and nothing will be there in the result, so I just can have this way. Okay. Okay. And if it is an error, then I should provide what is the error. Okay, it's an error dot message, and the message will contain the value. Um, Let me update this first. Well, you can see this got removed. Let me open another one. Now Anna is present in the customer registration lookup, and if I modify it, then you can see this got removed. The reference got removed because that record got removed. Yes, here you can see deleted the customer registration record successfully. Okay. So as I mentioned, so this is a rare scenario like where we will get an use of this delete record, but maybe in some scenarios we can use it. Otherwise, it's always best to go with the delete bulk deletion job itself. Okay, so this is about it, and maybe let me do something here so that we'll get this error also, so that you'll get an idea how the error will be coming in the console. Okay, the mm, no, maybe let me just use something which will throw us an error. Okay, this record is not present, so it should throw an error. Okay, let me try now. Oh, here itself it is throwing error. And when you open the console, try again. It's not even coming here. Oh, sorry, the customer registration doesn't have any value here. That is the reason. Let me open where it has the value. I don't know whether it will remove this first. It should not remove. Okay, so with this one. Add process. It's not even console first. Here itself it is forming a script error. Value should be of type bit, parameter name ID. Let me use the correct value then. Um, I'm just trying to use another grid ID which is not present in that entity. But here we have whatever is the final one that I'll be using. Here is this dot ID. And here I'll be using that one. Customer ID. Right? Let me refresh this again. It's not even coming here. I think whenever we are having issue while retrieving the record, we should provide the correct value maybe. And then if we just trying to fetch the value that is not present in the entity, maybe then it will throw that error. Let me try that way. Back here. Yeah. Updating the record, and I'll try to update the column which is not present in that system. Okay. Then I will try again. Directly giving error here. I'm sorry. Just a customer ID. Here, error while updating the customer registration record. Error identified in payload provided by the user for entity. Okay, this is the error that it is providing. So This is the entire error message that we are getting. And here you can see the property LUIT email does not exist on type. LUIT customer registration. One, make sure to only use property names that are defined by the type. Okay, so this is the error. And this is the sentence that I have given in the error message. Error while updating the customer registration record. Okay, so as you can see, this will only come whenever this is an issue, like uh, while updating it, not while executing the operation itself. For example, here I tried with different customer ID, but then it didn't even went here. After the executing the operation, this web API call, then if there is an error, then only this will get called. Okay, based on that, we have to provide a console log here. Otherwise, we'll directly get on a UI level, we will be getting script error. So from there also we can check it. Okay, so the first thing, first you can add console logs so that whenever there is an error, you can just go and check in the console. And the second thing, from the console also, if you are not getting what is the error, then you can just go ahead and debug the script. Okay, so this is how you can do it. And with this, we are completed with the CRUD operations using web API calls. And we have also seen the async and await operation, like how we will be making the web API call as a synchronous instead of asynchronous. Okay, so these are the things that you have to remember while implementing the web API calls in JavaScript. I think this is enough for now. Anybody's having any questions? Or did anybody try the assignments? And if you are having any questions, please do let me know so that we can just go through them.
No, Jyoti, no doubts.
Mhm. So did Harish provided assignments based on this web API scenarios?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, have you tried?
No, not at all. I'll try it by this weekend.
Okay, okay. But please do let us know. Maybe in the group also you can ask
Sure, sure,
if you are
definitely.
having, anybody's having any questions while implementing that registration, assignments. And also, please try on your own few things, like you are having the trial instance. So please try to, try on your own so that you'll get to know what is the error or what is. So maybe by listening to this, you might not understand everything, but if you can try and checking this Microsoft documentation also will be useful for you.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. I'll stop sharing the screen. And if nobody has questions to ask, so we can just wrap up this call.
Yeah. Thank you, Jyoti.
Srinivas, yeah, thank you, sir. Srinivas, Nikhil, Rizwan, any questions to ask?
As of now, I don't have any queries, Jyoti. This is related to JavaScript only, yes, what we
Ah,
have implemented.
Yes,
ah,
yes.
So I have like a small query in real time in your experience.
ah.
Is which situation you have used these things?
Which
So,
situation means like
Mean,
whenever we need to do some customizations on the form level. For
like in
example,
okay,
business rules, we can use.
what is that, Ashok?
In business rules also, we can use right JavaScript part of thing.
In
Business rule
no, business rule is a
and
different.
workflows and kind of.
Business rules is different. Like that is a designer will be having out of the box designer.
Yes,
We
yes,
just
yes.
have to add
Something
the conditions and
wherever we
all.
require, we can use some type of JavaScript in business rules as well.
Huh. No. So the business rule is a different component.
Yes, yes,
So
exactly. Yeah.
that is like only to just set visible or make the field as visible or hide or
Any
show
updated kind of
error
thing.
message or some lock or unlock the field. So that kind of scenarios only will be done with the business rule.
Yes,
But
yes.
whatever we have seen with the JavaScript, so some scenarios we have seen, like on event bookings entity, I want to fetch the customer registration record. That is a lookup record, and I want to get the details of that record. So that is a related record. It's not directly present on the form. So through the business rules, it's not present. So that's when I can use this JavaScript to fetch that related records and do whatever I need. I mean, based on the logic, right? And Srinivas, for your question, so as I mentioned right now, so whenever we want to do some complex logic, instead of just showing or hiding the field or showing or hiding the tab or section, so beyond that, like maybe I want to fetch the related record and I have to check the condition, and based on that I have to update some other fields on the actual entity. So in that type of scenarios, I can go with the JavaScript. And like the event handlers that I'm mentioning from the beginning, onload, onsave, and onchange. So if your requirement is to like while onloading the form, the customer has to see this field, or while saving the form, then based on the some field value, you have to show these fields only, or you have to change some other field value based on the related field value. Okay, in some scenarios, like if it is onload, then I'll go with onload. If it is on save, then I can go with on save. Or if I'm changing some field on my form, for example, while updating the email, then the other field has to update, which is related to that email field. Okay, so these all scenarios we can achieve with the JavaScript, whereas with the business rule, it's not possible. Right? So it's not like we don't have event handlers that how we have in the JavaScript. Okay?
Got it, Jyoti.
Yeah.
Yeah, in
Please.
pop-up, generally in alert also we will use in real-time scenarios or
No.
only.
In real-time scenarios, mostly we will not use, because this is for our while we develop, just to, instead of just going into the debugging process, this is just one thing. But in real-time scenarios, there might be some very rare scenarios. For example, we don't want users to see the error directly on UI level, right? So for
Yes.
our understanding, we'll write that to console, so that if it is an error, we can go ahead and check what was the error. But we don't want the users to see the error on a screen. So we don't use alert for the error message. Rather, if you, for example, you are creating a record, then maybe in that scenario, once the record got created successfully, then a pop-up will come on top of your screen saying your record got created successfully, or your record got updated successfully. So such type of success scenarios, if we really want the user to know that the process is done, in that scenarios we can use it. Okay. So there are other things as well, like alert, dialog box things, which, like, instead of this alert, how we are getting on top of the browser, on top we are getting, not in the middle. So you have seen two types of alert dialog box right now. So the one which we are using in the JavaScript, then the other one, script error, we are getting right in the middle of the screen. So that way, if you want the user to see something like that in the middle of the screen, saying that you have to fill these fields, or your registration got, I mean, registration is done, or your customer registration got updated successfully, or some kind of messages, if you want to see them in the middle of the screen, then you can use a alert dialog box, which is a inbuilt one we have in JavaScript. Okay, based on the scenarios. But mostly will not show any error messages on the screen to the users.
Yeah, got it, Jyoti. Thank you very much for explaining.
Yeah. Maybe I'll just show one example where there is another alert instead of just normal alert. We have another one which I'll show you. Let me share my screen again.
Jyoti, just want to confirm, we are using the JavaScript for within the field level customization only, data
Form level.
customization.
Form
Yeah.
level
Oh,
customization.
sorry. Farm level. Okay, got it.
Okay. Deleted the customer review. Okay. Here I'll use on top of the console log, I'll use another one. XRM dot navigation dot open allow dialog. Okay. I'll show you the syntax. What are all the things that we can pass in this one? So for now, I'm just saying. Uh, registrations record got deleted successfully. This should be string. Okay. Now you'll see how it looks like. We don't have customer registration here. Here we have, and I'm updating it. There it later customer. There. It got removed. Let me add and sorry. I'll use a white here. Is it published? Okay. Right. Let me add again. Oh, it got deleted. Okay, let's go back and add it here. Oh, sorry. For the error message, I have added this, right? I won't take much time. Just give me 5 minutes. I'll just show you that. Open another dialog. External navigation. Sorry, spelling mistake. Here you can see dollar dialog. So previously we used to see here, right? So instead of that one, so to this kind of success messages or any alert kind of things, you can just use this open alert dialog box from the navigation. xrm.navigation.open alert dialog, and there you can use it. And you can check the syntax once. So whatever the options that you can provide there. So just try on your own and let me know if you are finding it any difficulty there. Okay, so yeah, this is all I want to show. Thank you,
Jyoti,
everyone.
yeah,
Yes.
small question. How we will receive the any ticketing, Jira ticketing tool, service now or from the users or client?
Any ticket means I didn't get used to know.
No, requirement, how you will receive it in development center.
Okay, so it's from the business. So from the client through business, we will be having business analysts in our team, right?
Okay.
So mostly there will be, I mean, in every team we'll be having business analysts. So I mean, who will gather the requirements from the business. So they'll get everything from the business, like what is the requirement, what has to be done. So each details they'll be getting, and they'll create a story for us for our developers. So at the starting of the sprint, they'll be assigning a stories to you. So you'll just have to, I mean, they'll be assigning and you have to check the requirement. And if any questions, you can directly ask the BA and they'll get the exact what you are looking, like any requirement, like any missing requirement, you can inform to BA and they'll get from the business. Okay, so
Got it.
I mean, there is another scenario also, like directly in like in some projects, we might not have BS. So directly from the client, we will be getting what is the expected one. It can be Azure DevOps or the Zira, from wherever the this features management is happening. So it will be like the acceptance criteria they'll be providing, and how many points, like how many hours you have to work on that item. So those things will be available there. And based on our understanding, and if that is like correct requirement, and if whatever the points the hours they mentioned is correct, then we can go ahead. Otherwise, we can ask them like it requires more hours or something like that.
Yeah, got it. Good. Another one thing small is like the code, what you have written the script in real time. We need to mention any GitHub or anything versioning control, or directly we can use it.
No, I mean, here you're talking about two things, Git
Yeah.
version control and also the coding. So
Yes.
whenever you're writing, just whatever the logic you want to add, you can just add it. And while what was that? While moving the changes, so you can use the what is it? So if it is like there will be like two types of
Uh,
deployment, like.
means take example. See, I have developed in development environment.
Uh-huh.
Like in suppose customer department will be there. In
Mm,
suppose customer city is there. In this
mm,
city, I have mentioned HYD is the code. In so many branches in Hyderabad, it will be there. So I
mm,
have done the customization development. If
mm,
I want to move to the test or production,
mm.
like this, the first version is I will put like major or minor, 01 or 10
Uh,
like that I will mention.
okay. I get that now. So you're
Yeah,
talking about the solution.
yeah, solution. In going forward, in the code in JavaScript, I want to add the another field. That field should be if you select the branch name, automatically it need to be display the pin code
Mm,
also like
mm,
that.
mm.
So updated version, we need to where we need to update it,
No.
like type. Yeah.
So, here is the thing. Whenever you are making changes to the component, doesn't mean you have to change the version of the solution. For example, in my solution, I have added entities and workflows and the JavaScript also, nothing but web resources. I have added. And the next go, so for the first time, it went to the deployment, and the next go, I have made changes to the same components again in that solution. So after done with the changes, I can import the solution, which is nothing but I can download the solution with the same version. Okay, and I can deploy the same version. Okay, new changes, nothing but I have to change the version. But when I can change the version, for example, in your solution, you have multiple components, as I mentioned, entities, workflows, and web resources. And maybe as a hot fix or something, you had to make changes to the web resource. So the remaining components need not to be go in this development deployment, right? At that time, what I can do, I can
Yes.
create
Yes.
a path solution for this one only with the web resource component. Okay, and that I can just deploy it. And the next time when you are going to use the same solution, and if you want to include the all the components, then what I'll do, I'll just clone the solution. So whatever the changes that I have created as part of the patch solution will be merged, and then the version will get changed.
Got it. It means like whatever the changes, upgrade or anything you are going to do, we need
Mm.
to do the solution level only, not the web
Solution level.
resources level.
No. And also, it is not always required to change the version just because you are changing something in the component. But whenever you are having patch solution, at that time the version will change. And in some scenarios, when you feel like that is a big upgrade on all the components, maybe then you can make changes to the version. But it's not always mandatory to change the version of it just because of your changes.
Yeah, got it. Got it. Thanks for your explanation. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.